So, so on this episode, we just, I feel like we talked about comics more than we have in a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've really...
And honestly, we kind of rehashed conversation we've had before, but we're both on the same page as far as comics go. We both really love Superior Spider-Man, so we talk about that again.
Yeah.
And also Moon Knight, and also how shitty Marvel is. We just kind of just run through it, you know, for all you new listeners out there.
Yeah. What else? We talked about your first visit to a WWE live event.
Mm-hmm.
That was exciting.
That was very exciting. That we come out of the gate with that one.
Yeah.
Talk about WWE first.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a little bit of video game talk there at the end. Mostly about Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we get into a heated political discussion. No, we don't.
No, we don't. We did before we were on here.
Yeah. But we'll leave those discussions off of this because it's about having fun.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to turn it into that type of show, friends. So sorry if you wanted to hear us talk about our political views and current events. Well, that's not this show.
Too bad, son.
Sorry. But if you're here to have fun, and if you're here to look forward to episodes, then you came to the right place.
Yeah, you can definitely look forward to this episode.
And you can look forward to checking us out all across social media, starting with our Facebook page, facebook.com/SuperDivorce, Twitter @SuperDivorce, Instagram @SuperDivorceBand. And if you want to follow me on social media, just look up @Nicholas Villars on... I'll just tell you, I'm on Instagram and Twitter pretty much these days. So, yeah.
If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me @BenderButt on Instagram and @BenderButts on Twitter. You can also go to www.superdivorceme.com and there's links to like all the stuff pertaining to the band. There's also the Superstore, where we've got CDs, cassettes, t-shirts, stickers, and buttons, all available for sale. Vinyl's available for pre-order-ish, kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. But not, just focus on the other stuff first. Also, make sure to search for us on YouTube and follow our channel. Subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe. Sub. We need subs. We need 29 subs.
Yeah.
That's it.
We've been probably a little slow on video production right now, but
yeah,
we're working on a new music video, and we'll probably get some, like other shows kind of back on track in the next couple weeks, maybe after the holidays.
Yeah.
We'll try to get Monster Movies and Super Scary back on track for you.
Episodes are coming.
Yeah, we've got some in the pipe. Nick's doing all the editing right now, so...
And I just started managing the tattoo shop.
Right. So
again,
there's just a lot
trying to work both schedules out so we can get back on track and get all these things. And also there's been a lot going in to try and get some advertising going on Facebook so we can sell some albums and some shirts. We need to start doing that. I've been putting a lot of time in on that. So not to bore you with all this, but just to let you know, rest assured, you boys are working hard.
We're still filming Beer Me.
Yeah.
I'm still filming Monster Movies. And we have about 5 to 6 episodes of Super Scary that are filmed and just need to be put together.
Yeah.
So eventually we're going to get back to all that for you.
Yeah.
Until then, please look forward to this episode of the Super Divorce Supercast.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce. We are not getting a divorce.
Hey man, welcome to the Super Divorce Supercast. This is Villars here.
And Bender.
Beer here.
So,
come back and watch later.
If you come back and watch later, we have a segment called Beer Me, where we drink beer. It's simple. Simple as that. Yeah.
Typically a new beer every week, but we're taking a few steps backwards to fall time.
Yeah.
Got a couple cans of Creep Show that were left at my in-laws, and they they asked me to take these the other night, so I took them, and I figured we'd drink them here on the show.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Cheers.
It's a nice, hearty, smoked porter.
Yeah, it's good beer.
Yeah.
We've done this beer before on Beer Me. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
But
it's a Warped Wing beer, which is Dayton local.
yeah.
So that's good to support your local brewery.
I'm gonna put those guys down there. I know it's still just me. Just me watching.
Just you still.
I'm just following along because we can't see any comments on Nick's phone, which is where we're streaming from. So
Yeah.
I'm following along on my phone to see all of your comments, but you know.
And if you're listening to the audio version of this, then you don't care about any of that.
No.
It means nothing to you.
None of it.
Nothing. So yeah, so we're just hanging out. This was a big week for Bender because he on Tuesday night he attended his very first professional wrestling live event.
Yeah, we went to SmackDown Live in Cincinnati. It was at US Bank Arena.
Yes,
It was fun.
which you had not been to since you saw Metallica, right?
Yeah, that's most likely.
With Godsmack.
Yeah.
I was at that show too.
Yeah, it's fun. I love like talking to people and like having concert in common, you know. Like Lindsay and I both were at the same Green Day concert on the American Idiot tour.
Oh.
And then we both were at My Chemical Romance at Warped Tour in 2005. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who, even smaller, saw the premiere of Maniac with Elijah Wood at Horror Hound like 2 years ago. And I just met him I started talking to him a couple months ago. But we just learned that the other day.
Small world.
Hi, Jesse. Jesse's watching.
Hey, Jess. Jaff. So, what did you think of your first wrestling show?
It was really fun. It was a lot of fun. I think, yeah, you definitely like get into it when you're there because everybody's got it's. I couldn't help but compare it to like going to see Rocky Horror Picture Show live, like seeing the movie in a theater live in a theater, because just like you have your chants and you have your like everybody has to woo every time you get slapped across the chest.
Yeah.
And you know everybody counts with the ref, and when somebody's like beating the shit out of somebody, you count how many times they punch them.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you have these audience cues almost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun to like.
The audience is very much a part of the show.
Yeah, you have to like cheer you cheer and you boo at like all the times. Like I booed a bunch of people that I thought were dumb, like Kevin Owens.
Yeah, because
I immediately didn't like him.
really,
Yeah,
he plays a great heel.
yeah.
He does his job well.
Yeah, like I just like they started SmackDown with the whole yep movement thing, and Kevin Owens was like backstage running around telling people about the yep movement, and I was like, "Fuck you, dude."
And his buddy Sami Zayn was a good guy.
Was a good guy.
Yeah.
I feel like that might have been the case because I know you have a Sami Zayn shirt.
I do.
So I thought maybe he was like cooler at one point, but now he's kind of a douche too.
Yeah. Yeah, they were friends for a long time. Kevin Owens turned on him. Then Sammy turned on Shane McMahon recently and rejoined KO.
Yeah.
So.
And then Kevin Owens fought Shinsuke Nakamura and kicked the shit out of him, and I was unimpressed. Because I really wanted Nakamura to at least...
There was some tomfoolery, though.
Yeah.
He didn't just beat Shinsuke down.
There was, Sammy was...
He was running distractions.
Yeah.
Throughout a lot of the match.
And Randy wasn't really doing a lot to stop him. Like, I don't think that was, like... on purpose or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like he wasn't really doing a lot. But I don't know. I was just looking forward to more out of Nakamura's performance, but I don't think he was able to give that a solid performance wrestling Kevin Owens.
They could have a really good match. The only thing is, you won't get like an epic 30-minute match. Especially not on a SmackDown.
Yeah.
When the WWE does do the occasional like epic and that quasi Japan style, because they hardly ever get to that level, just because their matches usually aren't as long.
Right.
But if they ever do something like that, it's always at a pay-per-view. Right. Very, very rarely does it ever happen on one of just the weekly TV shows. I would say that the Raw and SmackDown are more just for like advancing stories in a way, and then building up to the pay-per-views.
Right. I mean, how many times did they advertise Contest of Champions while we were there? Like, it's just like every single...
Clash of Champions.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the next one. And then after that, we'll be at the Royal Rumble, which is one of the best.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We watched that last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will definitely watch Royal Rumble again this year because that was super cool.
Yeah, the Rumble is always a favorite, just because 30 people, you never know who's coming out next.
Yeah, was that the one where the Hardy Brothers came out?
No, that was WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, and they jumped off the ladders and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool too. I mean, I didn't have any context.
Yeah,
I didn't share in the excitement necessarily, but seeing everybody else excited that they were at WrestleMania, I was like, okay, it's probably a really cool thing. That
it was,
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of...
Hi, Lindsay.
Hey.
She's watching, too.
Speaking of wrestling in Japan, Jericho did... They were doing like a press interview for Wrestle Kingdom, where he's going to be wrestling Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And Omega like ran into the interview at the press table and just started beating the shit out of him. And like Jericho got up and picked up the entire press table and like threw it at Omega and like all the reporters, so just like crushed everyone.
Oh my god.
And he's like screaming at everyone. And this is what makes it so much fun when Western wrestlers go over to Japan. When they're talking shit, they can say whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Because they're speaking a language that most people there don't understand.
Oh.
So they can just like curse at each other all they want to and be as vulgar as they want. And like Jericho starts going off on Omega, and he points out at some guy in the crowd, and he's like, what did he say? He said, "What are you laughing at, fuck face?" or something. just yelled it at him.
Yeah.
You know, like no reservations about it whatsoever. It's like you'd never get that when he's wrestling in WWE, but you get to see a different side of people over there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It seems... I feel like, again, you know, I was saying the other day, I sort of already have this lean to the not mainstream part of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like 205 Live was really fun, and I feel like I would really like Lucha Underground or something if I got into it. New Japan is another one where I'm like, if I watched New Japan, I'd probably dig it.
I think you
way
would.
more than like WWE. Not that WWE isn't fun.
Right.
It's just, not all the time, but a lot of times tend to be like an outskirts fan. I mean, like, well, you and me both. We love Marvel Comics, but we love fucking Moon Knight.
Right.
Like, not everybody even knows who Moon Knight is, but we're just like, yes, best character ever, you know. So, I would really like to watch some.
You have to come over for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's like their WrestleMania.
Right.
So that's going to be really fun.
That will be fun.
But 205 Live, one of the dudes who was one of the biggest stars on that show, if you're a fan, you probably know who I'm about to bring up. A guy named Rich Swann.
Mm-hmm.
He just a few days ago got arrested, and I think he's facing like 5 years in prison now.
Jeez.
For kidnapping and like domestic battery.
Oh my god.
Because apparently his wife, like, they were driving, and she got pissed off at him and like got out of the car, and he got out after her and like put her in a headlock and dragged her like back to the car and threw her in, and she like called the police, of course.
Right.
So now he might be going to prison. So.
Oh my god.
And it sucks because the dude like had this really incredible story. He used to be homeless, you know, and he was on drugs and overcame all this stuff, and then, well, just throw it all away by putting your wife in a headlock.
Yeah.
And,
That's
like, come on.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, just chill out, man.
Right.
You know? Like, just
Yeah.
take a second and chill the fuck out so you don't, like, ruin your entire career.
They immediately put out like a statement saying that he was like indefinitely suspended while they reviewed the situation.
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, good.
Yeah.
Good that they did.
yeah,
I mean, or good that they suspended him
Mhm.
if that's how he's going to act.
I'm sure they're gonna end up letting him go, but it's like right away as soon as the police report hit, it was like Rich Swann has been suspended by the WWE, and it's like, well, that's what you get, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Act like a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get treated like a dick.
Yep.
But yeah, I got my first piece of wrestling merchandise too.
Your Shinsuke shirt.
Yeah, I got a Shinsuke shirt. Shinsuke shirt. I like Nakamura a lot. I think he's really cool. I like his style.
The artist known as.
Yeah, I thought I was really satisfied by that. The artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. I love like his intro song is like badass to begin with, but then I love when he gets on the ropes and like does that back bend thing like all the way down to the mat.
Yeah.
That's always really cool. It's just he's very theatrical when he moves.
He said that he takes a lot of inspiration in his movement and his flow from Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, he even wears like a pseudo marching band jacket open, like with no shirt. And I notice his, like in the pants he wears are like flared. So he even kind of oozes that 80s style a little bit.
Yeah.
But
he'll probably have a really cool intro at WrestleMania.
I bet.
Everyone's intro is always like amped up
Uh-huh.
to the next degree when they do WrestleMania. So
And his intro is another one where like the whole crowd sings along.
Yeah.
Like you don't do that for everyone's intro.
Right.
But when Nakamura comes in, it's yeah.
And then
That's
everyone
so
does
cool.
everyone does Bobby Roode's too. Glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Oh, well, I saw it on TV, but Demon Finn Balor.
Oh yeah.
Dun dun.
Yeah.
Like everybody does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was really fun being there.
I think they do a good job of giving you your money's worth, you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like $40 for a ticket. And it was, wrestling is cool because it's the type of event where like being up really high is still fine.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't matter. You can still see really well, and you almost get like a better picture way up there. And then they still have like the jumbotrons and everything.
Right.
They, you're basically, because it was SmackDown Live, it was being televised. So basically they show on the screens what the viewer at home is watching. So you can watch the screen if you really want to, or you can just watch the match. And like I said, there couldn't have been a bad seat in the house.
No. With that arena, no. Not at all.
So we were up pretty high, which went, like I said, was fine, and it went really well. It was really cool. And then after SmackDown was over, they aired 205 Live, but we got to move down a section,
Which a lot of people cleared out.
Which,
for
like,
some
why
reason.
would you do that? If you pay $40 for a ticket and they're going to give you SmackDown and 205 Live, like, you like wrestling,
Yeah.
just watch more wrestling.
And those were the people in front of us, so they probably paid more than we did for our tickets.
Yeah.
And we just got to move down into their seats, into like the next section.
And it wasn't even like we were like, hey, there's open seats. It was like a, what do you call them?
An usher.
An usher came over to us and was like, we're letting people move down for 205 if you want to.
Yeah.
So we moved down a section for 205 Live, and that was really cool because, it was nice to be a little bit closer and see the action. But then, I think really, honestly, the highlight of the night was we saw a dark match.
Yeah.
Which I learned is a new word, new term I learned.
He's getting in on the insider speak.
But we saw a dark match between AJ Styles and
Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal. That's
Yeah.
right, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Yeah, because that's going to be the main event of this Sunday's pay-per-view. So, like, I'm sure that they'll do some different stuff when they have their match on Sunday, but it's still cool that you get to see the championship match, sort of a preview of it before it actually happens. So, that was fun.
Yeah, and again, that was after 205 Live, so we were down in the lower section for that. So, it was cool to, like, be just that much closer to AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And, he, there were a lot of cool moves. They really went kind of like all out for that match.
That was definitely the best match of the night.
Yeah, you got to see AJ, like, just fly off the top rope. And he ended up beating Jinder Mahal, which was really cool because I like AJ Styles too.
Yeah. So we actually got to see him come out to the ring twice that night.
Yeah.
Because he came out and just did an opening promo, shortly after SmackDown started, and then came out and had that match later, which was pretty neat because people at home didn't get to see it, and we did.
Yeah, we did.
So,
all in all, just a very, very fun experience. Definitely, again, like I said, definitely worth $40 for a ticket. Like, that was really cool.
now it's going to be interesting. You're going to have to go with me the next time, like, Ring of Honor comes around.
Yeah.
Because it's a much different experience, but it's also a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
So, because a lot of those shows, they've got, like, if they do it at, like, Montgomery County Fairgrounds or something, which is where they'll come around here sometimes, it's just one level, know, and then you've got your folding chairs, maybe, like, 15 or so rows of folding chairs, and then just standing room only. And people just, like, leaning against the walls, and
yeah.
much more rough around the edges, but very, again, it's in its own way, it's still very inclusive of the audience.
Right.
And you're still a big part of the show, even at the smaller events. The good ones, anyway.
Yeah.
So, that'll be fun. What else is going on here? Getting closer to Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Christmas coming up. I think I assume, let's see. Next Thursday is like the 22nd or something like that. Whatever. It's still before Christmas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We should do a Christmas cast.
Yeah, we could do that.
Next
That'd be good.
time. I have a really cool gift for you. I'm very excited about it. I've had it for a while.
I still need to. You are one of the last people I have to shop for.
Yeah. Well,
so
I stumbled across your gift. We'll say that. So I wasn't necessarily out for you. I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe. But anyways, I wasn't necessarily out for you, but I saw it and I was like, gotta get that. Goodness.
Yeah, I went out yesterday with Jess and we did the majority of our shopping that we had left to do.
She's been asking me about gifts for you. She doesn't know what to get you.
I haven't really talked about much.
Well, yeah. Well, I've given her a couple things, but it's difficult because, like, you're not hard to buy for. I don't think. but I also don't think that you have quite the same collector's mentality that I do. Like, yes, you do. I mean, look in the room we're in.
Yeah.
Like, there's action figures all over the walls. You have all of your comic books and everything. But it's like, yeah, there's like tons of movies that you like, but you're not like super like, oh, I need all of these movies.
I would say that I've purposely become more selective.
Yeah,
Because of the things I have. If you could look around, I've got shit hanging up all over the walls and stuff, and it's like, I don't want to just have stacks of stuff because it's already stressful when I buy something. It's like, where am I going to put this now? So, like, if I had more room, perhaps I would be a little more aggressive, but I've kind of slowed down my old age because I just, it's like I take the mentality that I have towards Funko Pops, but I expand that out to like everything now.
Exactly. Like there's plenty of pops that I would buy for you, but you only have 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't.
And I'm very selective with them because I've got like the Doctor Strange pops back there because that's like my favorite Marvel movie, and I was like, I'm gonna get 2 from that movie because I think it's the best one that they've done so far. Though there are a few I haven't seen yet, so.
Yeah, you could eat your own words.
I could. What else?
You got Invader Zim, the 2 Gurs.
Yeah.
And then, which I mean, those are it's Gur.
It's
like whatever. I don't have Gur, but.
And then Batman and Bane.
Yeah, from Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark Knight Rises, Batman and Bane.
And then I've got my John Locke over here from Lost.
That's right.
And
then you've got an Iron Man downstairs.
Yeah.
But it's like an original Iron Man, if you so to speak.
Yeah.
Like the original Funko Pop.
Yeah. So, some people you see, they've just got like, you could fill a room with them.
Oh, I know. That's like, I can't care about that many characters.
Right. And even if you see a bunch of them that you like, you just can't buy every single one that looks cool to you because, again, you could probably fill up your entire house with nothing but Funko Pops.
Yeah. There's so many of them.
If you wanted to actually display all of them,
right,
it would just be tough. It'd be very tough to do. You'd have to not collect anything else, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm sorry.
But I think you're more. What makes you easy yet hard to buy for, is that you're a collector who is more selective. Like for myself, it's like, take Funko Pops for example. If it's from a horror movie, I'll take it. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like Hitchcock's Psycho, but there's a Norman Bates pop, and I'm like, okay, it's horror related. Yes, I'll take it. And I would, like, that's so but I only collect horror pops, and I have a Bob Ross and a Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and Thrawn from Star Wars. But I don't have any other Star Wars pops. For as much as I love Star Wars, no other pops except for Thrawn from Star Wars. As much as I love Marvel, no other pops except for Moon Knight. And then, all the horror characters.
I used to buy wrestlers all the time, and I've sold a bunch of them. I've kept a few. I've got a select few here, and I've purchased one to put on my wall in probably like the past, I don't know, maybe...
Is it the AJ?
Yeah, the AJ Styles. The deluxe AJ. That's probably the only wrestling figure I've purchased for myself to hang up in like maybe the past 10 years.
Is there a deluxe Finn?
Yeah, I got that for Lazarus though.
Did you?
And let him take it. So
need one for yourself?
I probably do.
Yeah, deluxe Finn. Is it just Finn, or is there a demon Finn?
There's a demon Finn. That's the one that I got for Laz. And then they've got another one. I would probably get the Gallows and Anderson set for myself
Yeah.
because they're in the club.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. And then what about the 4 new turtles?
Those I do need to pick those up. Just because I feel like I got the first set of those and I want to get the next one. But again, I've seen some of them out and it's just like you ever see something and it's like you're going to get it, but it's just like not right now.
Oh,
Not right now. You
constantly.
know,
Constantly.
like,
every time I look at Star Wars Black Series figures,
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe one day, but not right now. Same with Marvel Legends figures.
Yeah, even stuff because like I don't know that I'm going to see those out in the wild. Certain ones that I run across, but it's tough because those figures are like I think those are about $25 a piece or something like that.
I think so.
And that's just a lot to spend on an action figure, and it's like if you're not in the right mood, it's just no.
I mean, even Marvel Legends are like $20 a piece, but, I know that they have a Moon Knight now. And if I found Moon Knight, I'd fucking buy it, like right away. But that's just that character. Like, the other day, I was at GameStop, and they had a Venom, Deadpool, a Venom pool from, like, Spider-Man and Venom. Or Spider-Man and Deadpool, the comic, like the series. Deadpool gets taken over by Venom at one point during the comic, and his costume changes and all that stuff. So they had a Venom pool Marvel Legends figure, and I was like, that's really fucking cool. But I buy it. They also have the I don't know what his technical name is, but the Universe Spider-Man with like the red right here and then the blue and white Galaxy suit, who's basically like a god.
Yeah.
They have one of him too. I'm like, also like super fucking cool, but I didn't.
Well, I saw some cool action figures because I have to be clear. I still think about these things a lot when I see them.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like I end up passing the majority of the time. When we were out at Toys R Us, I saw. Have you seen these Marvel figures? They're packaged like the Marvel figures from like the early 90s.
Yes, I think so.
It's like blue.
Flat back.
Flat back. They're like blue and they've just... But the figures look updated.
Yes.
It's just the packaging is old school.
Yep.
And those are really cool.
Yep. But they're also like $15, $20. And it's like...
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah.
I think the only... Well, you were wonderful and you got me that Spider-Gwen Marvel Legends figure. That remains the only Marvel Legends figure I have.
Really?
Yeah. But now that I know there's a Moon Knight, that's definitely on the list. And I think of all the Spider-Men, because I think they're all so cool, but of all the Spider-Men, of course, I would want a superior Spider-Man. Because he's the best.
I was just thinking about that the other day, and I was trying to sort out in my mind. I'm sure that people have talked about this. Like, if you're not familiar with the Superior Spider-Man, there was a story arc several years ago where Peter Parker is about to finally defeat Doc Ock once and for all. He's like about to die.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dr. Octopus is old.
Yeah. And he but he has one last trick up his sleeve. This little Octobot crawls up behind Peter Parker and like lands on his neck, I believe, and like kind of zaps him, if I recall correctly. It's like a zap, and what it does is like rearranges Peter's brain wiring to pretty much copy Doc Ock's brain configuration and paste it onto like the neural map of Peter Parker's brain. So it's like
it's essentially Dr. Octopus moves his entire consciousness into Peter Parker's body.
If you can say that.
Right.
That's what I'm like that was like the internal discussion I was having when I was thinking about this for myself.
Okay.
It was like, was that really Doc Ock, or was it Peter just thinking he was Doc Ock? Because it wasn't like, they never said like, it wasn't sort of like a magical soul swap where like the soul of Doc Ock was implanted into Peter Parker, or like his consciousness as like a mysterious thing was implanted. It was like his brain was rewired.
Yeah, but Dr. Octopus, like his body, Peter Parker was trapped in Doc Ock's body.
Well, but it was like a swap, wasn't it? Like it zap, and now the way this brain is configured is over here, and this one's over here now.
Right. So it wasn't like a total switch of. You're right. A reconfiguration.
Yeah.
Is sort of a
reconfiguration into the exact wiring, if you will, of Doc Ock's brain up to that point when it happened.
Right.
So that Peter then would have experienced reality as if he were Doc Ock for all intents and purposes.
Right. And then so, as long-winded as that is, as long-winded as that explanation is, so basically what happens is that their brains are remapped, so to speak, and then Peter Parker,
air quotes,
dies with Dr. Octopus's body.
Right.
And then Dr. Octopus, inhabiting Peter Parker's body, decides he sort of has a rush of Spider-Man memories and kind of understands why Peter has been fighting for as long as he's been fighting. So he decides that he's going to stand up for good and justice, basically, but he's not going to be an amazing Spider-Man. He's going to be superior to the Amazing Spider-Man. So he's the superior Spider-Man. And then basically the whole, 38 book series, something, is Spider-Man acting as if he were controlled by Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
It's
he believes
really
he
cool.
is.
He believes he is, right.
But
he sees things. I mean, he kills somebody at one point. Very early on, he kills a criminal intentionally. And it's like Dr. Octopus is like, well, that's what you get. Like, I'm going to kill you. But, eventually Spider-Man doesn't act that way, and he gets better and better as the story arc goes along until he's fighting Green Goblin for control of the city, and it's just really, really, really good. Venom comes back at one point, briefly.
Can you imagine, if they had kept that going, if it was still going right now?
It'd be so cool. We've talked about that before.
We have.
Too.
And it's just so the more time that passes, the more awesome I feel it would have been. Because then at the 10-year mark, imagine people are still just looking around like, is Peter Parker ever coming back?
And then they do the whole thing where he sort of sparks in the brain, and he has all these adventures inside the consciousness, and meets with Uncle Ben and all that kind of stuff, and then decides to fight for control.
What if that could have been a good solution to keep both going? What if that would have been a 10 or 15 year saga where Peter is inside of his own mind fighting to get control of his body from the consciousness of Doc Ock. Meanwhile, Superior Spider-Man is still going while this battle is raging inside of his subconscious that he doesn't even know about.
That would have been so cool.
Instead, well, let's just bring Peter Parker back and make him Tony Stark.
After 38 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then make him the international Spider-Man.
It makes me... I'm so far behind, and one of the reasons is I'm just not motivated at all because of where I left off. Because I trudged along for a while, and it was just like, it's not good. I've read some really good Spider-Man stories, and what they were doing was just bad.
Mm. Yeah, I know. I picked up the new Moon Knight, written by Max Bemis, and Nostalgia posted their Facebook. When they get a new shipment, they post about it, and they sort of highlight certain books, and they highlighted Moon Knight in their status update, and they said when Marvel said they were gonna legacy their comics and keep up with like the stories or whatever, like Moon Knight is the book that is being done right. So I haven't read it yet, but at least our friends at Nostalgia are like, this is the Marvel Legacy book to read, like if you're going to read any of them.
So what are they doing with Legacy?
Legacy just means that Legacy is just the renumbering. So the Moon Knight, I flipped through the comic, and the story is continuing the current story where he's like in the mental hospital and stuff. It's still that. It's just the number on the comic is like 187 or something versus restarting at number 1.
Yeah.
It's the legacy number. So all the compiled Moon Knight issues that he's ever had, he's at 187.
So did they boost all of their books back up to where they would be?
Yeah.
If they hadn't done all these reboots?
Yeah, so Spider-Man is like back to like almost 800, I think. Spider-Man Legacy.
Yeah.
Avengers are in like the 800s.
Do they all say like Legacy on?
I think so.
Yeah. Of course they do.
Part of it, like the Moon Knight cover the logo looks more classic, and then it's like Moon Knight, and then there's a black bar just at the very top that says Marvel Legacy. It's not super like, boom, this is the Marvel Legacy. Like, it's just sort of a part of the logo. But Moon Knight, I know, is supposedly going pretty well. At least, like I said, according to our friends at Nostalgia.
Is Captain America still evil? Or did they...
No, they switched that.
They fixed it?
Yeah, they fixed that already.
That
the
was
Hydra thing.
Yeah.
It was basically... They did the whole... a Captain America from another dimension comes in and beats him and then takes his place as regular Captain America.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
The old other dimension version.
They did that. Yeah, that was what, Secret Empire?
I don't even know.
I think it was Secret Empire. That ended with a dimension swapping of Captain America.
I would have been happier if I found out that the evil one came from another dimension and had been swapped, and it was just the real Steve Rogers coming back.
That seems
like why
such
not do that?
Such an obvious.
Because I just feel like that fucks with people.
It's because they wanted it to be like he'd been evil the whole time. Yeah. All of Captain America's stories, he'd been a Hydra agent the whole time. So then a good Captain America from another dimension has to beat him and step in.
Do you think that there's any responsibility to the readers who have maybe been Captain America fans for like 60 years?
No.
Like, but if you were in that spot making the decision and you know about people's favorite stories and they're looking back and like, well, he was just a bad guy the whole time. Like, he was faking all of these things that maybe mean a lot to people. There's part of that, like, doesn't sit well with me.
I don't know.
I mean, it's one thing with, like, the Secret Invasion stuff where they found out, going back to, like, whatever, the late 70s, certain superheroes were actually Skrulls. It's like, okay, well, yeah, but then the real heroes were still held captive, and they were there.
Right.
But in this Captain America thing, it seems like there's just no redemption whatsoever. It's just like, he was...
Guess what?
He was just a douchey bad guy the whole time, throughout your favorite Captain America stories for the past, what? I don't know.
He's foiled Hydra this many times, but he was a Hydra agent the whole time. I don't know.
There just have to be some stories that totally contradict that, I would think.
Yeah.
That you couldn't explain away with him just being undercover.
Right. Leaves you with a sour taste.
Yeah.
Comics in general have a sour taste for me, but there's still Saga, so.
Yeah. Well, that's an Image book.
Yep. An Image is still...
They don't seem to be doing that sort of trickery.
They're not renumbering their stuff. They might cancel some comics a little prematurely, but they're not renumbering and re-seriesing and...
Until you read, Saga number 237, where you find out that the entire thing was a dream that was being had by Savage Dragon.
By Savage Dragon,
Yeah.
That's funny.
Just kidding.
God. I love Saga. I pre-ordered all 5 Saga Funko Pops, though. Because, come on. Like... I have to.
You have to.
I have to. I love Saga.
Oh.
There's 2 sets of action figures I'm missing out on too. They, the Marco and Alana that you have?
Yeah.
They have the Will and Lion Cat and Hazel and Isabel in McFarlane toy packs. Missing out. I still only have Marco and Alana.
So you got your Star Wars tickets?
No, it was supposed to be tonight. And then I had this stupid dessert thing at work, so I had to stay, so I couldn't go.
Did you have your tickets, though?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, a friend of mine bought tickets for me. And I was supposed to go tonight, and it was at like 7 o'clock. And I was at work till 8:30, like, you know.
Yeah. Not even a midnight then.
Nope, it was a 7 o'clock showing. I thought it was tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. But
that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Are you going to try and make it out this weekend?
I really want to, but I also do not want shitty seats. Like, as much as I loved seeing Force Awakens as early as we did, it was such a pain sitting where we sat.
Literal pain in the neck?
Yeah, it was a literal pain in the neck. And I just...
Staring straight up the
They're
IMAX
really
screen.
hyping this movie to, like, don't let anybody spoil it. And the stuff that they've been showing, I'm just like, I can't do this, the whole time. Like, I've got to see it in a proper seat. So, maybe, I'm off tomorrow. I might, there's a Regal Cinema literally, work is here, and then across the street, literally, is a Regal Cinema, and then Firebirds, where we're having lunch, is, right here. So, I might, have lunch with my managers, and then go to Regal and see if I can get into an early showing. But I am trying to see it soon, very soon.
I signed up for Movie Pass.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did it the other night when we went to see Disaster Artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking if I did it that I'd be able to use it. But
oh, you have to wait for your card and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it said present your card at the theater,
Mm-hmm.
or use your account number at the e-ticketing booth if your theater has one. Like the little walk-up kiosk,
right.
And I was like, well, they've got one of those where we're going. But apparently you don't even, when you log into your account, it doesn't tell you your number until your card arrives to your house. You have to enter it you have to enter it in from your card onto your account on their website. I figured it would just generate it for you and then you'd have it when you logged in. No, that's not the case. So if you're listening and you sign up for Movie Pass thinking you can use it that day, you can't.
Yeah.
So Give yourself some time.
I guess I could have told you that somehow. Like, I knew you had to like wait for a card before
Well,
you could use it, but
well, that's all right.
still
Still
you got
gonna
it.
be cool.
You got it. So
And the theater right over here in Lebanon accepts it.
really,
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, it's neat.
I'm still playing the Switch a lot. I just can't get over like how cool that system is. I've went back to Mario Odyssey. I've been collecting Power Moons.
Getting your power moons.
I only have like 104 left in the whole game, which is a lot. But I've collected 400, over 400 at this point, I think.
Do you have a favorite world in the game?
I like the city,
Yeah.
New Donk City, a lot. I think it's super fun.
New Donk City.
Yeah. I thought the Luncheon Kingdom was interesting. It's just very interesting to look at.
I haven't been to that one yet.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Where are you?
I am. Where did I leave off? I think I had just beaten like your first encounter at New Donk City.
The electric
Yeah.
stampede thing?
Mhm.
Okay. So like you got it to stop raining?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luncheon is like... The Luncheon Kingdom is like 2 kingdoms after that, I think. 2 or 3 even. Right now I'm going back through... Because you're, like you beat the game, and there's so many Power Moons, and then you beat the game, and there's like an additional like 20 to 30 Power Moons per level,
Right.
which seems ridiculous, but
They somehow make it interesting
they
enough.
somehow make it interesting enough. I could tell you how they do it, but I won't.
Okay.
But I mean, it's as simple as like just ground pounding a certain part of the ground,
Right.
to other stuff that you have to do. But anyway, so right now I'm doing extra Power Moons in the Wooded Kingdom. I did a lot in the Sand Kingdom. I did a lot in the Lake Kingdom. But there's still some that like I can't even figure out, And I'm sure there's some from before I activated the extra moons,
Yeah.
that I can't figure out either.
Well, I got the guide if you get too stumped.
Let me go through like the whole thing, each level, and try to, because when you the thing is when you activate the extra Power Moons, they get marked on your map.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can at least go and try to figure it out. So let me like go through every level and get as many extras as I can, and then I'll take the guide from you and go back through the game again and get every moon.
Sounds good.
I'd like to 100%, and I don't think I've ever 100% in a game.
I want to go back through Resident Evil again.
Do you?
Yeah, it's really fun.
There's a new DLC, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to play those. Though I'm hoping that I can get a PS4 Pro sooner than later,
Yeah.
because I want to see what it looks like through the VR on a system that's optimized for it.
Right.
I'm interested to see how much better it looks. So, yeah. Well, what are we looking at here time-wise? We
I don't know if there's even a time on here.
probably about probably about good for tonight. I
Yeah.
suppose you I know we didn't get started until a little later this evening, so do you have anything else you'd like to offer up to our listeners before we head out?
I don't think so. There's not a whole lot going on right now. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about after we see Star Wars.
Yeah, and then we'll do next week. We'll hit Star Wars, and we'll do our some gifts.
Yep.
We'll do a gift exchange for Christmas, and yeah, that's probably about good for tonight.
Yep.
About good here.
Mm-hmm.
So stick around for the outro, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for looking forward to that episode, and
hope you enjoyed it. And we will be back next week for the Super Divorce Christmacast. That's what we're going to call it from now on.
Christmacast.
We need to make sure that we're hitting our pizza party when the time comes.
Yeah.
Episode 90 is the Super Divorce Super Pizza Party.
And that's only I'm pretty sure next week will be 89.
90 could be the Super Divorce 2017 album review pizza party extravaganza.
It could be. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good. We most likely will have our friend Jason on.
Yep.
To do a 2017 top 10 album podcast, just like we did last year.
Just like last year.
So look forward to that coming up soon. Also look forward to checking us out all across the internet, starting at superdivorceme.com. While you're there, make sure you visit our store. Check out our CDs, cassettes, stickers, buttons, and t-shirts. You can also find us on Facebook.com/SuperDivorce, Twitter @SuperDivorce, Instagram @SuperDivorceBand, where we should be posting a photo of us at SmackDown.
Yep.
Soon.
Yep.
Somebody's
That's right.
in charge of that.
Yep. I need to do that. Do that.
You can send it to me. I can post it.
I don't mind. I was actually reaching for my phone, and then
it's
I
up here.
realized
Yeah, we're
it's
doing it.
recording
We're
right now.
here.
So.
If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram @BenderButt and Twitter @BenderButts.
If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, just @Nicholas Villars. And one other thing, if you're on Facebook and you search for the Super Divorce,
Super shit posting super group.
that's it.
Yeah.
Super Divorce Super
Super
Shit Posting Super Group. If you like shit posting and low effort memes, then join that and feel free to have a field day.
It has to pertain to Super Divorce though.
But that's a pretty low bar that we're setting there.
As long as you mention Super Divorce.
That's all you have to do.
Then it pertains.
Someone, what did he post? Sean, was it?
Yeah.
He posted the margarita in the to-go box.
Yeah.
And it was not Super Divorce related.
Right.
I reposted and fixed it for him and just wrote
at the Super Divorce
Super
show.
Divorce. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that made it Super Divorce related.
Right. That's how you do it. You have to you can re-meme memes if you put Super Divorce in there somewhere.
That's all you have to do.
That's it. But it's super shit posting and super funny. Seemed like your wife got the hang of it today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then so did Sean. Sean's post with the Transformer was genius.
Yeah.
So
it's fun.
It's really fun.
And I feel like you are more likely to see you're more likely to see posts from that group than you are from our actual Facebook page.
Right.
Because it's not listed as a business.
So if you want to kind of hang out and have fun with us, join the Super Divorce Super Shit Posting Super Group.
It's very casual.
Yeah, it's really casual.
So
and make sure to check us out on YouTube, search Super Divorce, and subscribe to our channel. And with that, we will see you next week.
Christmacast.
Christmacast.
Please look forward to it.
Enjoy, chefs.
Super Divorce.